Hello everyone, my name is G. I'm an aspiring Call of Duty analyst, and today I have here my Series 3 Week 2 CDL power rankings. I'll be going into detail for each team, why I have them ranked where they are, what they need to do going forward, what I believe they need to do going forward, and what do I think is going to be the outcome of the major coming up. I'll be going in order from the teams I think are the best right now into the teams that are worse, as I feel it's less exciting. The teams that are at the top, they're pretty much predictable. But here we go. To start off, we have Atlanta FaZe, number 1 still. I understand that Toronto is on a tear right now, and I love the Toronto team. I'm Canadian myself. But I still believe Atlanta is the most talented team in this league, and have shown the most success throughout this entire season of Cold War. They have the best match record. Right now they're 0-1. They lost a heartbreaking round 11 due to a horrible flash. I don't think they should have been in that situation anyways. There's a lot to say about the honeymoon period in New York and how they didn't know how to play against Hydra, and Hydra came out to play really hard against them. As you see here, we got the best KD is Simp. No surprise there. I think he's the most talented player in the league right now. I haven't seen a sub on his caliber enter the league since Scump. So yeah, he is amazing. RC's at the worst KD. I like to point out that the KDs are based on just this series right now, so that's why they may look a little different than KDs you're used to seeing. He's at a .84. I don't think it's anything to be worried about. It's really hard to play main AR in Cold War. It's shown a lot throughout most of the main ARs, unless you're on a not so good team. I feel like the main ARs can do a lot better, but the most important player going forward for this team, I believe, is Celium. He is slowed down since their the first series 1 there, and he to me is the catalyst for their S&D. He's one of the best S&D players in the league, I believe. I think he's the best S&D player on that team. Simps may be the most talented, but Celium is just a genius when it comes to S&D, and if you can turn that up, I believe they should be winning every S&D. I know Simp said in a video that he believes that it was the rotations that cost them their match against New York and hard points and stuff, and I expect them to lose some respawns. I don't expect them to ever lose an S&D or even go to a round 11 against New York. So for that reason, I still have Atlanta at number 1. I still think they're the best team. I still think they have the best chances of winning this major. Coming at 2 is the Ultra. I can't, they can't get lower than 2. They're if I put them lower than 2, then it's just disrespectful. I can't. They're right now 12-9. They are not 2 in the standings right now. They're currently 5th in the standings right now, but they've been on a tear. Since they brought Insight to this team and dropped Methods, love Zinni. Sad to see him go, but this guy has been on he is Rookie of the Year, I believe. A lot of people say Standy, but to me, Insight has been just so dominant, and at that main AR position, which is so hard to play in this game, he has just shown that he may be the best main AR in this game at the current time. Their match record is 12-9. They're 2-0 right now. 6-0. They haven't lost a map. They're looking like FaZe from freaking Series 1 there. They just need to keep it up. Honestly, that's the key focus for this team. I believe Bance is their catalyst player. He is the guy who, when he is playing well, the rest of the team plays really well, especially in the S&Ds. And this team has just had such a good chemistry, and I just love what I see from them. They're playing hot, and they're going to continue it up, I believe. Until they run into a wall somewhere, which could be FaZe, could be Optic, any of these really other good teams, this team's going to be dominant. Next up for me in 3rd, I have Optic. A lot of disappointed Optic fans. I feel like Optic fans have too much expectations for the teams every single year. I think it's just because they get the most press and everything. This team has played well. I understand they haven't placed top 3 yet, but this team has played really well. They're currently 3rd in the standings, so they're almost a guaranteed ticket unless it completely falls apart to make the final or make champs this year. They're currently 12-7. They're 2-0 right now. They've lost 1 map. The key for them is just consistent play among all of them. So as you can see here, we got Envoy with the best KD of a 1.18. Scump currently at the worst KD. I don't think Scump's been playing bad this year. I think he's been playing the veteran role that he needs to play. In most esports, when players get older, not that Scump's even old, he's just been in the league so long because he's played since he was so young, but they take a step back. They don't play the role that Dashi and Envoy are playing this team. Formal and Scump have to play the veteran role, the role of baiting and helping these players get into positions to succeed, something that Shroud did for Cloud9 when Stewie was coming up. he's still been playing great. He still has great games. He still has clutch moments. I still think Scump's a great player, and I think Chicago doesn't need roster changes. It's a good team. What they need is consistent play. They need all of them to be playing at high levels together. It seems like it's always one person popping off for the team, but there was one consistent person popping off, and that was Dashy in the first series. It was always Dashy popping off, like almost every game, and that's what Optic was doing so well, is because they had that one person that could guaranteed always have a great game. They've been unlucky. They were unlucky in that phase best of 5 in the first series when, I don't know if it was unlucky, Abizi just went crazy. The unlucky lineup. I think it's a good team. I think they're the third best team in the league. I think they could definitely give Toronto or FaZe a run for their money in any match. So that's why Optic's 3. Moving on to New York. So this one may be surprising to people. People are going to be, where's Dallas? Where's Dallas? Well, Dallas is later on. Okay, we'll talk about the Empire later. I think New York's 4 right now. They're 11-7. They're currently 4th in standings. They have a map count of 3-2. They're 1-0. They beat FaZe, which is a pretty good team to beat since they're one of my power rankings right now. Clayster has been leading this team. Mac's on the lower end of it. I'm actually happy that they chose to keep Mac over DiamondCon. I've liked watching Mac play. I think he has really games where he pops off, games where he plays slower. DiamondCon to me felt like just a filler role, and that they're just waiting for Hydra to come back. And god damn did Hydra come back. Hydra had a great game. He's second on the KD here behind Clay. Still in the ones. He's been playing amazing Call of Duty in that first match, and that was against FaZe. So it's something to say about the honeymoon period with this team. But to beat FaZe in that matter, I believe this team can give, again, everyone in front of them a run for the money, and I think they have the advantage against everyone behind them. The key focus for this team is the Hydra show. Let this guy shine. I want to see how good this guy can be. There's been so many rookies this year, with Standy, with Insight. Neptune has made some good plays. It's very interesting to see Draza, to see these rookies show up, and I think Hydra on this team, and you know Clay with rookies. Clay just has a way of making rookies just win champs their first year, so I'm very excited to see New York going forward. To me, Clayster is the greatest assault rifle of all time. To me and my friend group, we all believe that Clayster is the greatest AR to ever do it. So him on this team of young talent, I'm very confident that New York's gonna make champs and be a team, a contending team. Next up, we have the Rocker. This may be a controversial one. They're currently 7-9 match record, 0-1 in the series or 0-1 this series right now. They won one map against Florida. This team is very, very fundamentally sound. I love this team fundamentally wise. Like, they play just really good COD. There's a couple other teams in the league like that. And I feel like the issue for them in the first series is that no one was making huge plays. And a lot of people are mad about the Major Maniac and that they needed Assault out instead of Major Maniac, and then no one cared because Standy came in and he showed up and proved everyone wrong. But to me, it's the thing with the Rocker is these impact plays, and that's what Standy brought. So they just need to continue with these impact plays. Like, they already play such fundamentally sound COD that whenever they do end up going down, they need someone to make a huge play. They're like the opposite of Chicago. Instead of being fundamentally sound, instead of making one person making big plays randomly each game and not having consistent fundamental sound, this team is like so fundamentally sound and is always missing that one big play game. So that's why I also have Standy here as the most important player for the team, because I believe he is that guy to make those key impact plays in a game. And yeah, I believe Rocker is a dark horse to win it this year. And I think they're better than everyone lower on this list. Moving into the Empire, I can't have them lower than 6. The Empire is second in standings right now. They recently had a huge change with their benching of Hook. I believed Hook was the best player on the team at the time. There's a thing to say about chemistry, communications. A lot of people were saying that he just didn't fit within the Empire organization right now. They're 12-8. They're 1-1. They're down a map count by 1. So it's not like this team isn't playing well. They've played well, but they went 3-0 against Toronto, or 0-3 against Toronto. soon as they dropped Hugh. That's not a good way, especially with all these other rookies coming in. Like, these guys are coming off the bench and winning their series right away. For this team to get 0-3'd right away, it doesn't look good for me, or it doesn't look good for them, to me. I don't think this team is as good without Hugh. And honestly, this team would have been 5th if Hugh was still on the team. I still think New York, Optic, Atlanta, and Toronto are better than the Empire right now. Right now, Krim has the best KD. He's tied, actually, with Hugh. I just thought I'd put him on there because he's still on the starting lineup. Whereas KD's fellow, he did not have a good debut. A big thing for me, too, is that they're saying that there's so many talks. No one knows why Hugh got dropped specifically, but that Krim needed a second voice in there. Like, they had Clay last year, so he wanted someone else to talk. Well, if that's the case, then why don't you keep your sub duo? Because Fellow's on the AR anyways. They moved Illy over to sub, so why don't you just keep your sub duo and drop Illy? Like, Illy, not drop, but put him to the bench. Illy has not played to the level that I think people want him to play at, and I think Hugh has played to a higher level than people thought he was going to play at. So yeah, it really doesn't make sense. The key focus here is Fellow. Hello, Fellow. Like, you gotta show up, man. Like, you gotta show that you are worth being on this team over Hugh, and the team needs to show more fundamentally sound. They didn't even look fundamentally sound to me on their games. I don't know if people said the games were close. I didn't think so. I thought Toronto was winning all 3 as soon as this was called. The important player for this team is Shotzi now. He is the new main sub with Hugh gone, so he needs to show up like he did last year in his MVP season. He needs to show that he is the best sub in this team. I heard some people say they wanted Shotzi off. I don't even understand why you dropped Shotzi's MVP last year. Yes, he hasn't turned up to what we thought he was going to be from last year, but you can't put this kid on the bench. You can't risk losing this guy. So yeah, that's Empire at 6. I still think they're making champs this year. They still have Krim, who is a top 3 Call of Duty player all time. They still have the MVP from last year, and Illy is still a great S&D player. So this team still has so much talent. I think that every team in front of them is just better. Thieves. I think Thieves are making champs this year. I like this team. Okay, so at the beginning of the year, I liked this team, and it didn't show up. And then they made some changes, and they first they brought Venom in, and I thought that Draza should have been the first to join the team, and they still weren't winning, and then they dropped Slasher, which I thought Slasher should have been dropped for a while now. I just didn't think he meshed with the team. This team is all about fun, and Slasher's less about fun and more about winning. Well, everyone wants to win, but the chemistry just didn't mix to me. He seemed too much, I don't want to say an old head, but like an OG. He's too much in that OG mindset. Well, these are a bunch of young guns who just want to go out and gun. Like they always say, like, casters always say, these guys are flying and frying or flying and dying, right? So Slasher didn't really fit that, I don't believe. And I believe the team right now does fit that. The best player on this team is Kenny, Kylo Ken. He has shown... This guy may be the best flex to ever do. Like, this guy's gone from sub in his rookie year to now a main AR, dropping the highest main AR stats in the league right now. Oh, behind Insight. But he's incredible. The worst KD is TJ. To me... a big focus on this team is that these two rookies, Draza and Venom, have played great COD. Like, they're both above a 1 KD. So I believe that it's just on Tej to get back up into the 1. It's on Tej to flow with this team better. That's why I have chemistry as a key focus here. This team needs to keep having fun. And when they do start to lose, don't tilt. Don't tilt. Don't lose full... as COD players would say, lose composure. But they need to be able to stay calm and keep it going. This team's currently 6th in standings. They're ahead of Minnesota. So I believe that this team's making champs. I think it's a really good team. I think the two young guns like Draza clutch that 1v1 against Octane. I think it's a really good team, LA. I don't think they're better than teams that have in front of them. But I think they can give all the way up to New York a run for their money. And that's why LA's at 7. So the final team that I think is going to be making champs is LAG. Hear me out here, okay? You gotta hear me out. I believe LAG is a very fundamentally sound team. And the issue with LAG is their respawn. They have played really bad respawn. I have it here. They're 12 and 26 in respawn. So their S&D is great. They've played great in S&D. And they made a change to see if they can get better at respawn. And did that change ever work? Sheen came in and they 3-0'd right away. They won their first series with a 3-0, and it was dominant. Like, they looked really well when I watched them play. I had them winning that match anyways in my pick'ems, not 3-0, but I believe the LAG will make champs this year. I really do believe in the veterans. I think a good team is a team with a really strong veteran or two veterans to help guide the team, and then two really good players in their primes, and usually a player who can bait and is willing to do the dirty work for a team. This is kind of old head like thinking, but like I think back to Cole when they had Karma and Krim in their primes, and then they had TP and Aches, who were like really understood the game. Everyone on that team understood the game. It's kind of hard to say that team because that team, like, there's some teams that have all of this. Like, you go to like FaZe and like, okay, you got 4 guys in your primes and 4 guys who really understand the game well. So, but this team, I believe, like, Apathy and Assault are really good on this team, especially Apathy for the vet aspect of this. And I believe that the Vivid drop was actually a good choice, because I think Apathy, Silly, and Assault work really well together, and I think Vivid didn't fit the mold as much into this team. So dropping the person who didn't fit the mold for Sheen, I think, was the better choice. But yeah, that's why I have LAG at 8. Now we're going to go into my bottom 4 teams here. First is Florida. They just missed out on champs. Unless this team can turn it around, but this has been the biggest disappointment all year, especially for me. I wanted Florida to do really well this year. But they're 7-10. They're currently 9th in the standings. 1-1 this series. They just had a great game against Minnesota. A great match against Minnesota. But this team, it's just, they've never looked solid to me. Every game I've watched them, I don't know if it's because I've bet on them, they lose me money, but every time I watch them, they just don't look like a solid team to me. I think Awakening by far is the best player on this team. Skies is also really good. They've really good AR duo on this team. They just can't seem to find the 2 subs that fit in. And they're kind of missing that veteran presence, like I said, like LAG has with Apathy. They don't really have that guy. Like, they brought Havoc in, but still, they don't have that guy who just understands the game and understands their enemy very well, which I believe is something that they really, really need. I think the important player here is Neptune. He's supposed to be people want him at Rookie of the Year this year, but I don't think he's shown it. He's had great plays, but he needs to be more consistent. He needs to show that he is on the level of Standy and Insight. The key focus for this team is their veto strategy. Also, maybe if they stop playing Checkmate, they could win more games. They're 1-7 on Checkmate Hardpoint. Please stop playing that. And they're 2-5 on Checkmate S&D. Please stop playing those maps. Like, I don't know if their map pool is small and like that's just one of the maps they practice, but I would want you guys taking chances on any maps, even if it's Apocalypse and you get bad side. Like, when you're 1-7, you gotta chalk that map up. You guys can't win on that map. It's just not your map. So I don't know if it's veto strategy is what's costing them, or if it's the no veteran presence on the team. But this team just, it hasn't looked solid to me. It's looked shaky all year, and the talent's there. Like Awakening, Skies, and Neptune. This is a talented team. It's just they look shaky. Oh, wrong way. Next up, we got London. So, London is the worst team in the league at 2-12. They're right now 0-2 in this series with a 2-6 map count. They have not looked good at all. With this power rankings, I'm also putting a bit to the future because I think London has a lot of promise going forward. Paul X looked dominant when he first came out, and I still think he's good. He's sitting about 0.97 in this series, but I still think he's a really good player for this team. And I think Shawnee is a really good main AR. So I think, like, the key to London right now is don't really care about winning, but figure out the core of your team going forward. I believe you have 2 really good players that you can build around. I think Zaptius and Zed, we gotta figure out if these guys are really the subs for this team, or if they could find a new sub. Can they pick up a Huke? Can they pick up a Temp off of Paris? I feel like he would fit this mold a lot better than he does in Paris. I'll get into Paris later. But I think this team has a lot of promise with the young talent on it. I don't believe... So Call of Duty is one of those esports where I don't believe that drafting or like kind of just rookie taking is the best way to win. it can do major things. Like with Hydra, when you get one rookie in, it's kind of similar to basketball, where if you get one guy into the team, it can make a lot of difference. I think free agency is a lot bigger in the Call of Duty scene. It's a lot more in that off-season period where is everyone going, who is people teaming up with, which is, again, similar to the NBA in that sense, where it's a lot more in the free agency than it is in the draft, compared to football, where it's a lot more drafting than it is just free agent buying. But this team, it looks like they're drafting well. They pulled up Paul X, and Shawnee has looked very dominant on that AR. I think with two subs, even just pick up one in free agency, or two subs in this free agency coming up, this team could be really good going forward. I really like London's chances going forward. So the important players to me are Zed and Zaptius. Can either of these guys show that they are the best subs on this team, and that can be main subs for this team? Next is a Surge. So this is an interesting team. This team has a lot of talent in Gunless, in Octane, and in Priesta. I think, or not Priesta, Pristini, my bad. And Pristini, I think they're very good players. They're 4-11 right now. They're currently second to dead last, or they're tied with Paris to second to dead last in the CDL. They're actually in front of London right now. They're 0-2 at 2-6, same map count as London. The issue to this team is chemistry. Is not just chemistry. The issue to this team is Looney. I'm not gonna front. Okay, Looney, to me, I think he should have retired like a while ago. I've never seen Looney as a top sub in any game. I've seen him have great plays. I've always thought he was a really good sub for teams. So I thought he was a really good one of those guys who'll do the dirty work for a team. But in this game, like after the first two series, I don't understand how he's still playing with them. People say that it's okay. Anyone who says IGL doesn't understand Call of Duty. This is not Counter-Strike. This is not like Dota. This is not a game. This is not a tactical. It's not a tactical shooter. It's an arcade shooter. Yes, you make plays, but it's such a fast-paced game that you don't have one guy calling plays. There's people moving around the map so fast, especially in Respawn. Like in Respawn, there's not one guy calling plays, and if there is, your team is going to end up like Seattle, and I don't think that's what happens on Seattle. I think it's more of a chemistry thing. It's a friend thing. They've played with them before. They keep them in check. People have said that if he's off the team, then Gunless and Octane, like the team chemistry won't get along. Well, then blow the team up. Like at that point, then trade everyone off your team, because like it's not working right now. So you got to do something. The most important player on this team is Looney. If he can turn it up, then this team could be really good. Like they have a really talented player in Gunless. They have a really good main AR in Octane. I think Octane's been a really good main AR his whole career. He kind of reminds me of Allen Iverson. He like never finds success wherever he goes. Like he's had success. I don't want to say he's never found success. He's had a lot of success throughout his career. I've just never seen him in that formal limelight or Clayster limelight, even though I thought he's been a really good main AR his whole career. Yeah, Seattle to me, I believe this team has no future right now. Like that's why I have London ahead of it. Is like I see future for London. I don't see future for this team unless Looney can sell. Like people say if you plug Cuke in this team, they're automatically going to be great. I don't see that. Octane to me has never been the apathy or the karma or the Clay, the very intelligent player. He is intelligent and he understands how to put himself in situations, but there's certain players who are good at putting other players in situations and helping guide them around the map, and players who are good at really putting themselves in good situations, and Octane's always been the guy who puts himself in really good situation. I don't think the chemistry on this team's good. I'm not in their huddles. It's not just in team chats, it's just the way they act outside of it. Like Octane went on the flank and he was saying like I was the only reason we've gotten that situation anyways, right? And like that doesn't mean necessarily that he's trying to roast his teammates, but it kind of sounds like passive aggressive sort of deal, right? Like I was the only reason we were in this situation ever. Kind of to me, it sounded very passive aggressive. There's a lot of woes on this team, and that 0.71 from Looney does not help it. I believe either Seattle needs to make some desperate changes or blow the team up. Finally, the worst team, I think, in the CDL, and the team that I think needs to be absolutely blown up is Paris. Like, this team, it's brutal. They're tied with Seattle, too. A lot of people have them higher than London. I understand that. A lot of people have them higher than LAG. I guess I can see why. They have talent on the team, but I just don't understand the chemistry between these players. These players playing together doesn't make any sense to me. They're 4-10. They're 0-2 right now. They're 1-6 in map count. Yeah, I say you blow this team up. You keep Scraps and blow everyone else up. I like Temp. I like Temp as a player. I think Aqua and Classic are not what they used to be. A huge Aqua fan. By the way, loved Aqua. That team, Aqua Naga fan. All them back in BO3. I love that team. I think it was Elevate, or was it Rise? It's one of those two. Love that team. I think Scraps is the main player you keep here, and you try to blow it up and try to rebuild it. It's kind of hard to do that. I know a lot of league or GMs and teams don't really want to spend the money or have the effort to even do that. They just run with what they have. But yeah, I don't see this team going anywhere. I don't see them making champs. I don't see them I don't see them winning series. Like, maybe they can steal one if a team's off that day, but I can't see them getting hot because I don't see the chemistry between this team. And then when your team doesn't have chemistry like that, then you don't have talent. It's like Seattle, but without the talent. That's what I see Paris as, really. So yeah, that's it. That's my rankings. So you got Atlanta first, Toronto second, Optic third, New York fourth, fifth is Rocker, sixth is Empire. Big drop for Empire with the Huke drop. I think they would have been pretty low anyways, even if they didn't drop Huke. Seventh was Thieves, 8 was LAG, 9th Florida, 10th London because of the talent, 11th Seattle, and 12th Paris. I thank you all for watching. I hope you guys can subscribe, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at KingG to find our TTV KingG to find any more information relating to the CDL. I want to upload more videos. If you guys have any examples of videos you would like me to post for you, such as player rankings, pick'ems for the week, bets. I do a lot of betting on the CDLs, so if you want me to do the best odds, best parlays, I can do videos on that. If you are in a draft, like I think it's Fantasy Buff, I can tell you players that are cheap that you can go after, or players you should be drafting for, looking forward to for this series, or whatever, what week it is in a series. Yeah, I'm open doing all videos. I love talking about Call of Duty, as you can see here. It may have sounded a little rambly at times. I take any feedback I can get, so please leave in the comments below. Please leave a like, and I thank you all for watching. Take care.